appointed time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. Now, skip down a little bit later in the verse. Verse 8. The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. Now, some scholars tell us that among Orientals, weaning took place later than it does in Western lands. According to 2 Maccabees 7:27, Jewish mothers nursed their children for 3 years. And this comes from the SDA Bible commentary. Now, so Isaac is probably 3. Ishmael is around 16, because you know it was 13 years, right? So Ishmael is around 16. Now, here's where things get sticky. What do you do with Ishmael? The Bible says in verse 9, now Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. For 13 years, you called Ishmael, God will hear. For 13 years, Ishmael lives as the promised child. For 13 years, Ishmael lives as the heir of promise. But Ishmael was not God's child. Not the one that he was God's child. Let me say that differently. He was not the promised child that had been promised to Abraham. Are you with me? Yes. And here's the problem. Have you ever had your mistakes to mock you? See, Ishmael represents more than just a child. Ishmael represents Abraham and Sarah's failure. I wish somebody could hear it. Amen. Yes. Here's what is interesting. Have you noticed that they keep mentioning the fact that Hagar is Egyptian? Yes. Now, the scriptures do not tell us when Hagar joined Abraham and Sarah's employ. But the fact that she's Egyptian, I wonder if they picked her up in Egypt. Stay with me. I wonder if Hagar was acquired during their period of unfaithfulness when they went down to Egypt and lied. Hagar represents a period of unfaithfulness to God. And then in another period of unfaithfulness to God, Sarah says, Abraham, go sleep with Hagar. Maybe I can get children through her. Hagar is an Egyptian. I wish somebody could hear it. Yes. Hagar is not the people of God. She's only done what the people of God asked her to do. But what do the people of God do when they recognize that they've got the person in front of them represents their sin? What do you do when your mistakes wake up and say good morning every day? What do you do when your mistakes have led Egyptians into sin? Hagar didn't have the choice of saying, I'm not going to sleep with Abraham. The Bible says, now Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. See, now she's got her own child. She doesn't want to see Ishmael anymore. Galatians 4:29 tells us, but at that time, he who was born according to the flesh persecuted him who was born according to the Spirit. And so it is now also. Do you know that there are certain things in your life that are fighting with the things that were born of the Spirit? There's certain attitudes, certain behaviors, certain things that you picked up in your period of Egypt. But now it's fighting with your new spiritual nature. And you can't get to chair one because you are in a struggle between what was and what is. I know I just said something, even if you didn't get it. Therefore, she said to Abraham, drive out this maid and her son, for the son of this maid shall not be an heir with my son Isaac. The matter distressed Abraham greatly because of his son. Sarah says, that boy got to go. You can't stay in this house with my son. Now before this, Ishmael was her son too. Oh, don't miss that now. Because she told Abraham, I will have children by Hagar. So she had claimed Ishmael before. But now she don't want to claim him anymore now that she's got her own. But there's something deeper going on in this text that I want you to see. And I realize it's not going to be much longer because either you're going to catch this or you're not. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I want you to catch this. Now, while Abraham is rightfully upset about putting his son Ishmael and his baby's mama out, Abraham was having some baby mama drama. And he's like, come on now. No, you got to update the scriptures.
Baby mama drama.
That's what it's called. It's called baby mama drama.
Yes.
And now you got to put his baby and his baby mama out. But there is a deeper issue going on in Abraham's life, which this issue is going to cause him to confront. Now, Abraham should know that there are issues in the house. Why does Abraham wait until Sarah says, you got to put her out? Now, mind you, remember, this idea was never his in the first place. I'm trying to help you, but it's, help us do this.
Yes.
When Sarah first came to him with the suggestion, Abraham, go into Hagar. Why did Abraham say, no, excuse me, sweetheart, I don't think this is a good idea. Because, and you know, if she conceives, well, first thing, okay, all right, I'm going to be very careful. I know we have children in the room, but you got to deal with real life folks, all right? Abraham got to say, girl, you know, there's no guarantee that this is going to work the first time.
Come on now.
Now, Sarah, you know you ain't going to be happy. Why is Abraham so childish? See, Abraham doesn't want to think about the consequences. All he wants is the baby he was promised when he was 75. He's now 86. And he just wants